This cookies and cream cake is a must try. It's very moist, delicious and creamy, so without further ado, let's get started. Start by greasing 3 7-inch cake tins with melted butter and dusting the edges with flour. Then place a circle of parchment paper that I cut out right in the middle. To make the chocolate cake layer, I want to start by adding 65 ml of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, not 3, this is definitely a mistake. I had to redo this again, but it's 2 eggs. Just forget what I'm doing here, just think 2 eggs. Then add 65 ml of yogurt. Then get 250 ml of warm milk and 1 tablespoon of instant coffee powder. Add it straight into the milk, give it a good mix, then pour into the stand mixer. Then add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix on medium speed until it's all incorporated. Now add 80 grams of soft brown sugar, along with 110 grams of caster sugar, 180 grams of plain flour, 40 grams of cocoa powder, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda, and lastly 1 teaspoon of salt. Now if you want the full list of ingredients, they'll be listed down below in the description. Then want to mix it all together till it's all lovely and combined, scraping down the bowl if needed to. Then pour your chocolate cake batter evenly into 2 7-inch trays. Now it's time to work on the vanilla cake layer. To make the vanilla layer cake, start by adding 80 grams of soft butter into a bowl, along with 40 ml of vegetable oil, 120 grams of caster sugar, then mix on high speed until the butter becomes lovely and creamy and fluffy. Then add in 2 eggs, mixing it all in till the eggs are lovely and combined. You want to mix this in really well to make sure the eggs don't curdle. Then just pour in 65 ml of milk, give it another mix. Then add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 150 grams of plain flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, an 1/8 teaspoon of bicarbonate soda. Then mix all the dry ingredients with the wet, and then pour into 1 7-inch cake tin. Leveling the mixture towards the edge of the cake tin. Then you want to bake these at 180 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Then take the cakes out from the oven and leave to cool for around 20 to 30 minutes. Then scrape down the sides with a knife and carefully remove from the cake tin. And once the cake has cooled down, trim off the top to make sure the cake is nice and level and even. Now for the buttercream, you're going to want to place a whole bag of cookies and cream biscuits into a blender and blitz until fine. You're really going to want to do it in a blender just to make sure it goes through the buttercream okay and doesn't leave any lumps. Then in the bowl of a stand mixer, you want to add 250 grams of soft butter, 175 grams of vegetable fat, and 175 grams of cream cheese, and also 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Whip on high speed until it becomes lovely, thick and creamy. Then add in 800 grams of icing sugar, mixing on low speed at first to make sure the icing sugar doesn't go everywhere, which you really don't want to happen. Making sure to scrape down the sides to make sure everything's being combined. Then once all the icing sugar is combined, mix on high speed until the mixture becomes lovely, thick and creamy. Then add in 6 tablespoons of milk just to loosen out the mixture. Then pour about a good quarter of the buttercream into a separate bowl, and we'll save this for later to pipe on top of the cake. Then in your stand mixer bowl, you want to add in all the crushed Oreos and mix in together well. And save the buttercream for later when we ice the cake. Then in the meantime, you want to make a simple syrup to soak the sponge in. Just add 50 grams of sugar and 50 ml of water. Leave to simmer, then add a drop of vanilla extract, and you're done. Leave it to cool. Now it's time to ice the cake. Place a little bit of your buttercream on top of your cake stand, then place the chocolate layer first, brushing with the sugar syrup. Then add the buttercream and spread evenly through the sponge. Then add some crushed Oreos. Then add the vanilla cake layer, repeating the same process as before. Add the chocolate cake layer, making sure to use the bottom, the flat top of the cake, so you get an even finish. Then ice the cake on the top, making sure to use a palette knife to brush from the centre, not from the outside of the cake. Which really doesn't have to be perfect. I didn't really get it that perfect, but just do the best you can really. I'm not the best at this, but you want to pop it in the fridge to harden slightly. Then bring it back and cover again with your icing, just to miss any spots that you missed before that are showing itself. This is called a crumb coat, I think. Then go through the icing again with your palette knife or scraper. A helpful trick I use is to actually pour hot water onto your palette knife or scraper and then dry it. This kind of melts the icing when you scrape through it and makes it a lot easier. Then place the cake back in the fridge while we make the chocolate ganache. To make the chocolate ganache, add 100 grams of chopped chocolate into a bowl along with 100 ml of double cream. Place in the microwave for 30 seconds and then take it out, give it a good mix. If it was still not combined and lovely and melty like this, just pop it back in the microwave for 5 seconds. Then pour the chocolate ganache into your piping bag and pipe drips onto your cake on the edges. As you can see here, I wasn't really the best at this, but I gave it a go and you should too. Then pipe on the centre of the cake and smooth out with a palette knife and place it back in the fridge to harden. Then place the cake back out from the fridge. Pipe with the extra buttercream we had that we didn't put any cookies and cream into. Then place Oreos in the centre and enjoy your cookies and cream cake. Thanks for watching guys, really hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, if you really did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe for further content and I'll see you guys next week.